Together here. Club Godzilla, I ain't tricking. Alright, what up? All you lovers of life, lovers of light, keepers of the peace, prayer warriors, kinsmen, friends, countrymen, and all points godly. What up? To you and yours. It's your boy Channel 202. Now, I'm going to play my game because that's what I do. But I'm also going to talk about something that I heard Steven Jackson talk about, which was racism in sports. And you know what I'm saying? I want to know what y'all think about that because I thought the same thing he said. Now, he said that who's going to watch the NBA if black people wasn't playing in it? Oops, that happened. And that's a doggone good question. Who's going to watch the NBA? Will you watch the NBA if black people didn't play in it? Now, me personally, I don't watch the NBA. But I know doggone well if I know doggone well the NBA was all white, there's no chance to watch it. Not one. Not one. I don't care if Bird was still playing. I don't care if I don't care who was playing. I don't care who was playing. I really don't care.
Our SCVs are under attack.
The truth is, I wouldn't play. I mean, I wouldn't watch. Like, at all. At all. And if football, the NFL, same thing with that. Would I watch? No.
Not enough minerals.
Would I watch? No. I wouldn't. None whatsoever.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Not whatsoever. So there's that. But they try to make it seem like they try to make it seem like, yo, we know if black people didn't play, y'all gonna still watch it. We're not.
Not enough
We're not
minerals.
gonna watch it. So I saw a statistic talking about the percentage
Add-on complete.
of black people in the NBA. Some like 75% or some old
Command
garbage
center
number like
upgrade
that.
complete.
And when I
Add-on
saw that, I was
complete.
like, yeah,
Not enough minerals.
but how many of them are owners of the NBA?
Not enough minerals.
You know what I'm saying? How many of them own a part of the NBA? Very few, although there is some.
Not
Michael
add-on
Jordan, I
complete.
think he
Not
owns the
enough command
Hornets.
center upgrade
Charlotte,
complete.
he owns part of them. So that's cool.
Not enough minerals.
And I think there's, a few other people who are
Not enough
on
minerals.
partial owners of the
Not
NFL
enough minerals.
or the NBA, excuse me.
Not enough minerals.
But but it's a very it's a very small percent. Very, very, very small. Very small. So now that racism
Add-on
front is such a massive thing, let's talk about it. Let's talk about racism. Let's talk about who's racist and who's not. Are you a racist? Are you someone who
additional supply depots required.
are you someone who practices racism? Are you that person?
Ready for desktop.
Do you have
Picking up.
something against other people simply because of their race?
Picking up or dropping off.
Research.
I don't. I know some good folk. I know some great white folk. I mean, I know some great white folk. You know what I mean?
Insufficient Vespine gas.
I mean, these some great white folk. I know some great white folk. I can't. I can't clown on all white folk just from a few bad white folk. That bad, man. I can't do that. I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that.
Not enough minerals.
I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that.
Mineral field
I
depleted.
know some good white folk.
Understood.
Not enough minerals. Add-on complete.
Real good white folk. Now I know some terrible white folk too.
Complete. Not enough.
Some damn
Not
terrible.
enough minerals. Commence. Not enough minerals.
Terrible.
What's going on?
I know some terrible ass white people. I mean, just terrible. Just not worth the time of day white
Insufficient.
people.
Reporting for action.
But I recognize that everybody is not for everyone. I recognize that.
Ready for dust off.
I recognize that.
Confirmed.
You can't put everything on one color. You just can't do that.
Let's go.
You just can't do that.
How can we help? As you
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
And I wouldn't do that. Because I had some white people hurt me and help me.
We're returning fire. All hands to battle stations.
So,
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
Upgrade complete. Base is under attack.
that's why I just can't do that. Y'all
Additional
doing too much with
supply
that.
details required.
You got some racist assholes out there, but y'all doing too much with that. Alright?
This ought to be good.
Y'all need to cut that out.
What's going on?
You know what? Here's what I think about
Additional
racism.
supply depots
I think racism is
Additional
necessary.
supply depots required.
Now,
Base
I
is
think
under
that
attack.
because the racism that exists follow me, the racism that exists
Base
feeds
is
this
under attack.
anger that America has for each other.
Insufficient gasoline gas.
It feeds it, right?
Unacceptable landing zone.
And if you didn't have
Gasoline
this
gas.
anger, this 100%,
Insufficient gasoline gas.
if this never existed,
Bad news?
Mineral field base is under attack.
if this was never a thing,
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Our SCVs are under attack. Base is under
Reporting
attack.
for action.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Our SCVs are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Our SCVs are under attack.
I mean, I'm getting spanked right now. It's okay.
Not enough minerals. Your forces are under attack.
Because you know what? Why not?
Not enough minerals. Base.
This guy is beating me. I've never been beat like this before. It's all good. Never seen this before in my life, and I'm finished. It's hard to beat that. But I think that racism is necessary. I think that And it's an unnecessary necessary. And the reason why I say it's necessary is because it fuels the very premise that America was built on. America was built on blood and war. Wasn't built on. There was no friendly exchange when it came to America. It was built on theft, blood, war, and it's still built on the same thing. And the same people who thrive on this kind of lifestyle are still in charge. It's just been handed down from one forefather to another. You know, death, slavery. Slavery is still a thing. And people try to say, oh, this, you guys are like, there's no such thing. It's just like, what? Do- What? Do you know how much they make in prison? and they and they make all of this stuff in prison. Do you know how much they actually get? That is a form of slavery. And then you have most black people who are in jail for non-violent crimes, doing some serious numbers for non-violent crimes. How did that guy do that? How did he build all that? That was amazing.
SCV ready.
For non-violent crimes.
I can't build here.
I mean, it was just ridiculous.
SCV ready. Yep,
Non-violent crimes.
gotcha. Yes, sir.
Black people are in prison
SCV ready.
longer, statistically. And it makes no damn sense. None whatsoever. But you try to tell us because there's a large amount of uh, African American people who play in in the NFL, in the NBA, that because of this statistic alone, there are, because of this, uh, we are not, slavery is still not a thing. Well, here's what I'm wondering. Here's just something I'm wondering.
Additional supply depots.
For the people who are in the NFL and the NBA, they make a decent wage. I'm taking that from
Additional
anyone.
supply depots required. Additional supply depots required.
Nobody's taking that from anyone.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Nobody's taking that from anyone. They make good coin. And most people are not going to see that much coin. So true. I'm never going to see that much coin in my life. Never. I'm never going to see that much in my life. And I'm not upset about that. That doesn't piss me off. At all. You know what pisses me off? What pisses me off is when people ignore the fact that because of those numbers, you should not complain at all whatsoever. Whatsoever. Because there are
Add-on.
there are
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Armed and ready.
Yeah,
You want a piece of me,
you
boy?
shouldn't complain.
Because you know how you gonna give me by the
You shouldn't
numbers.
complain. You should have no complaints.
Who wants some? Looking forward to the gateway coming through. Been waiting on you. Oh yeah, this better be good.
You should have no complaints.
What's our target? Want a piece of me, boy? We could use some help here, boy. Bad news? You gonna give me orders? You got it. Roger that.
Oh,
Gateway coming through.
you should have no complaints.
We could use some help here. That's been waiting on you.
It's just like, no, I have a complaint. I have a complaint.
Let's get into that. This better be good.
When it comes to that, I have a complaint. A deep concern. Because, I met this guy
Mineral field.
through my through anger management sessions, right?
Fight or flight.
And well, I met a bunch of people, but
Been waiting on you.
when I say I met them, we did a webinar, not a webinar, but it wasn't a seminar. It was a anger management. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about what makes us angry, and it was for mostly, well, it was all African American people. So the when he introduced himself and made it clear that he was an angry black man. And when he did that, I understood exactly his position. And we all had a chance to talk. And when he had a chance to talk, he was going on talking about how he should have been making a certain amount of money a year, 100,000 or whatever. And basically, it was because of racism, that they were like, no, this is not going to happen. He was qualified for this position. And this has happened to me before. I used to work for the Ohio House of Representatives. I got in as a temp. And then I got hired in. And when term limits came up, the racist ass Representative Coyer didn't want to hire me. He hired a white woman. I'm like, okay, even though I was holding that position down for you. All right, cool. But he would always say he's just a temp. This is who my legislative aide is, but he's just a temp. It was like, you racist bastard, I already know what you're saying. And then, they hired some white chick. And I'm like, okay, you want in your office. All right, fine. I'm not going to do that. You don't want to look out a black man. Okay, it is what it is.
What's going on?
That's the way it is. They want to look at something beautiful in their office. Okay, I'm not pretty. All right, but don't say he's just a temp. Like, downplay, trying to make me look like I ain't nothing, and that's what he was doing. But nonetheless, I even got interviewed by some black legislators, and they were like, no. So when I left there, I was looking at the Department of Alcohol or whatever it is, and they is one guy, white dude, who I befriended, and he was a very cool person. Very, very, very cool. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, so basically he said, you're the only person that I'm pretty much, looking to get into this job. And I appreciated it. He was a cool dude. I appreciated him. When I got
All
down there
SCVs are under
to
attack.
the panel interview, they made me take some ridiculous test
Yo, Henry,
that was basically a sentence long, made me write out a sentence, and they wanted to know if I could spell or not. And I misspelled a few words. I'm not the world's greatest speller.
Jordan.
And when that happened, and when that happened, they went ahead and said, "No, we're not going to hire you. We want our agents to spell better." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then that's when old boy told me. He said, "You were the only person who were interviewed for that position." He said, "You were the only one."
Not enough minerals.
Yeah, whatever.
And I was like, "Stop the
Not
madness." He was
enough
like, "Man,
minerals.
you were
Not
the
enough
only
minerals.
one." So you can
National
imagine
supply depots.
my disappointment.
You got it. Been waiting. This better be good. Can't wait. Yes, sir. Want a piece of me, boy? You gonna give me orders? Armed and ready. Been waiting on you. Give me some cool on some. Bad enough. Can't wait. Who wants some? Sure. Can't wait. Armed and ready. Bad enough. Coming. You got it.
At any rate, to say it
Base
hurt like
is under
hell
attack.
is an understatement.
Not enough minerals.
It hurt. Yak. Boo!
Gateway coming through. I'm on it.
Boom!
This better be good. Want a piece of me, boy?
That was fun. Anyways, so yeah. But racism in America is just the way America does. That's the way they do things. With all the things that have happened to me with white people, here's what I can say. I mean, I've had some jobs taken away from me simply because I was black. They didn't want me there. So racism is alive and kicking, people. There's nothing you can tell me that won't convince me of this. I've been thrown in jail and didn't even know why. Uh, it is what it is. But don't try to convince me that it's not there because you guys like seeing black people play basketball. You're out of your mind. And that's a very small percent of the black people of the populace of the 40 million of us. It's a very small percent that can even get any of those contracts. I mean, there's just a very, very small percent of us that are even. It's not that they're not that good. It's just that that opportunity is not allotted for everyone. And then there's, I mean, I would tell you the truth. If I was that good, okay, so I was good enough to get a letter from Penn State. Okay, now we know Penn State's Big Ten. And, not everybody from there goes to the NFL. Could I have had my chance? I don't know. I'm not saying I was that good because I wasn't. Here's what the thing is. I wasn't that dedicated. But I was good enough to get a letter. You know, I was good enough that they saw me and was like, hey, we like what you did when you played in, whatever game they scouted me. And they sent me a letter. I was like, okay. But my mind wasn't really on football. I couldn't see myself playing football for the rest of my life. For one, I used to get stingers all the time. It's basically when your head is ringing when you get hit. So the whole concussion thing was very real to me. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to get hit this hard. Because that's getting hit. I used to hit people head on. And I mean, I used to hit them. And I enjoyed it. Because I was an angry child. So you're telling me I can hit this person? One guy just mentioned this in the NFL. He said, you're telling me I can hit this person as much as I want to, and I won't go to jail for it? And the answer is yeah. And I was on that same thing. I can hit this dude and pretty much floor him, and nothing bad happened to me. So I was hitting people, you know what I'm saying? And I was loving it.
Command center upgrade
But
complete.
there's always a drawback. I was hitting them head on because I really didn't know how to professionally hit people. So I was getting stung. Get them burners come straight down your neck, down your spine. I knew it was a dangerous thing. And anyway, so if you
Insufficient Vespine
if
gas.
you
Insufficient
when you
Vespine
get one of
gas.
those letters, you're just like, oh yeah, you know, I can go ahead and play state, and then possibly,
Not enough minerals.
so on and so forth. But when I examined the possibility, I said, no, I'm not going to play for state. And that would have made some people very happy, would have made me happy, would have made my family happy, my extended family happy. It would have been just a bomb. But what I did was I said, I'm going to go ahead and join
Insufficient
the
Vespine
military.
gas.
That's what I did. The military just seemed to be a better direction for me after high school because I got in trouble in high school. I got in trouble, some goofy girl I was messing with got me in some real hot water, and it was enough. It was enough to where I had to leave where I was. And it still hurts today that I got into that, issue with her. You know what I'm saying? And I lost the trust of the people who loved me and were showing me favoritism. They were like, no, we're not.
Insufficient Vespine gas. Insufficient Vespine gas. Insufficient Vespine gas.
And it hurt. Really did.
Add-on complete. Add-on complete. Add-on command center upgrade complete. Insufficient Vespine
Really hurt.
add-on complete.
But it could have been worse. So I ended up going back to my neighborhood and know what I'm saying?
Add-on complete.
End up going back to the hood, and
Not
life got
enough
real,
minerals.
real quick. I got fired from Giant Eagles for putting the soap in with the salary. Cunts. I got fired from that.
What? You want something?
Just made no damn sense.
SCV ready.
You know,
Got
got
something.
fired.
SCV ready. Go ahead. You know, Peter, man. That's all done. Nothing. Let's do this. I'm going. What's it worth? Where? Yep. Bad news.
So I've had some experience with some real,
What's that?
what I would consider evil people, yeah. Evil white people.
SCV ready.
It's not like some evil white people.
Insufficient.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Evil black people, like white people, you expect them to be just evil ass people. But
Add-on
black
complete.
people, you think that they're your ally. You're like, no, they would never do that. They're black.
Good job.
See, and that's where you're wrong. Because black people will do you
Additional
in.
supplies required. Mineral field depleted.
Black people won't do you.
Bad news.
Black people will
Add-on
do
complete. Not enough minerals.
you.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals. Mineral field.
Black people will do you.
In the rear with the gear.
They will do you.
SCV ready.
Set an example. Make an example out of you.
Additional supply depots required.
Then wait.
They will rejoice by doing you. They will.
Let's go.
Mineral field depleted. Upgrade.
You smoking some serious pixie dust if you think black
Not
people
enough minerals.
will not go upside your head.
Not enough minerals.
Look at the murders that's been happening within the last couple weeks. Look at the murders that's been happening. Just look at them.
Go on.
Mineral field depleted. Not enough minerals.
You're fooling yourself if you think black people won't do you.
Research complete. Not enough.
Ready for desktop.
Not enough minerals.
Say the word, baby.
You're fooling yourself.
Command center upgrade complete.
Liberation is attacked.
And black people love to hate
Not
you.
enough minerals.
What's going on?
You don't even know.
Reporting for action.
Not enough minerals.
Heading out.
Additional supply depots required.
In the rear.
Not enough minerals. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required.
Now,
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
we talking about black love.
Add-on complete.
Let's talk about black love. Let's talk about loving black people.
What's going on?
Is that a thing?
Not enough
Can we do
minerals.
that? I tell you what,
Not enough
I
minerals.
don't hate black people because I'm black. So I'm definitely not hating on my own color. I'm definitely not gonna do that. That's
Not enough
ridiculous.
minerals.
Not at all. Not gonna hate my own color. I don't like y'all sometimes.
SCV ready.
I don't like the fact that they killed that little girl like it was nothing.
Additional supply depots required.
Like, those are not
SCV ready.
black people.
Reporting.
Those are demons.
Additional
you gotta-
minerals.
You gotta look at
Operation is at hand.
who's who.
Yes, sir.
Research complete.
You really do. You really gotta look at who's who because black normal ass people are not gonna do something like that.
Not
Some
enough
normal
minerals.
ass every day just wanna love, just wanna go home, like the man said, the father of the girl that was slain in Atlanta, he was like, y'all killed y'all own. He said all she wanted to do was go home to her and see her cousins.
Additional supply depots.
Like, what kind of nonsense is this?
Not enough minerals.
Those are not black people to me.
Not enough minerals.
And there are different tribes.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay, let's understand this. There are different tribes that were brought over here to America. Let's do that.
Mineral field depleted.
I don't know what my tribe was. Don't know at all. I don't know who my fam was, my fam. What I do know is
Not enough minerals.
whoever they were.
Not enough minerals.
I am hoping that they were nowhere near like these demons that are doing this to these people over here. Now, me, myself, there is no one in my family who likes to create the confusion that they have here. Now, do we got some nuts in my family? Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's some crazies. Oh, yeah, we got nuts. Oh,
Not enough
we got
minerals.
super duper cray cray.
Not enough. Research mineral field depleted.
Yeah, we got cray cray. I'd be lying if I said we didn't.
What is it?
We got cray cray.
Ready for pickup?
You feel me, G?
Heading out.
SCV ready.
We got
Okay.
cray.
We could use some help here.
this mess. Fast.
Center upgrade complete. Not enough minerals. Research complete. Vespine geyser exhausted. Vespine geyser exhausted. Base is under attack.
We got some cray.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade. Base is under attack. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Damn!
Not enough minerals. Research complete. Not enough minerals. Base is under attack. Base is under attack. Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
Yeah.
Not enough minerals.
Get my ass kicked in. Get my ass kicked. No big deal. So that's what I feel about racism. I just wanted to share that with you guys because share that with you guys. I don't like black people. But I love black people. Like when I get around black people, they automatically look at me and go, mm-mm. Like that's how they do, as if I'm not a part of their culture, as if I never contributed. That's how black people do me. They shun me. And you would think, well, why don't you go ahead and be with, a white woman or something? I tried that. And you know what I found out about the white woman? The white woman treats me really, really good. She does. She treats me freaking excellent. But there's something in me that tells me not to deal with them. Now, of course, you can start getting into our heritages and all that other stuff. Esau and, where people are from and all that. God may not want you to mix with them, even though you just can't help it. Two dominant races, you know what I'm saying? Coming together, it's going to happen. But the last white woman I had, she treated me like I was, oh my God, and her family. He treated me so good. So good. But I couldn't. had a nice home, everything. I just couldn't stay with her. It's not me. And there are some fine white women out there. Oh my God. But unfortunately, I just can't be with anybody. And a dark skinned woman is someone that I always wanted. I've shared my life with a couple of them. I have a baby by one of them. And I have paid dearly for making those choices because they don't like me. And I mean, they don't like me. Isn't something I'm going to grow out of. A dark skinned woman does not like me. They don't like my education. They don't like my calm demeanor. They want me to be something I'm not. They don't like my chill mode. They don't like the fact that I don't smoke and drink. I don't go out to the club. I don't rebel rouse. They want me to be angry and slap them around. And one woman said, you complain about us all the time, just leave us alone. And I took her advice. I said, you know what, you're right. Instead of complaining about them, I just left them alone. But I still look at them, oh my God. I just love the way the black woman looks. I'm not going to get over that. I don't think I'm supposed to. But I do realize that it's just not something, it's not for me. I'm in between the two, and it's just not meant for me to be like a happily married uh, uh, person unless the Lord steps in and says, boom, this is yours. This is your woman. Boom, bam, beans and ham. And you two, work it out. So unless the Lord steps in and does something, it's not going to happen. Not by something I have done. I no longer have. Well, I never had the whatever it took to make a black woman happy. I never had it, uh, and now I'm shards of the man I used to be. I'm pieces. I don't have that body no more. That body, man. All the work it took to keep that body. I no longer have the ability to get that body. But that's all they wanted. You know, that's all they wanted. That's all they wanted. Racism. It's an ugly thing, especially when it happens to you by your own people. Your own people treat you like crap. Your own people.